In on Kevin Durant remaining with the Nets after requesting a trade earlier this summer. Barker said of KD in an interview yesterday, quote, "But if you go back and look at his career as the best player and being the leader that all goes with that, he's been an abject failure. He seems like a miserable person, man. I call him Mr. Miserable. He's never going to be happy. Everybody's giving him everything on a silver platter." Whew.
What's going on in Brooklyn? And here's the caveat that we're going to have here. We're going to do something revolutionary for what's going on in Brooklyn. We're going to talk about basketball. We're going to talk about actual on the court Brooklyn Nets basketball, not
with
drama.
With the caveat that there will be drama. This team, if we're playing a video game, I really like the roster. I think we can win a bunch. There will be drama. You have
and we'll talk about it when it happens.
Never happy and tried to fire when it happens. It's continued. Oh, by the way,
I know, but that's not the point of the segment. We're talking.
He's
about
already gone off the rails.
We're talking about
this
team on the
segment
court.
be sinking. This segment be sinking.
The team on the court.
That beautifully written statement, co-signed by Boardroom. Kevin Durant, very active on Twitter, never slapped a retweet on it. Did reply to Pat Beverly, basically saying, well, thanks for holding up the whole league. Anyways, on the court, fine, let's do it. Let's pretend that we think that Kyrie is going to be available on a consistent basis. Let's pretend.
I, for the record, think he's going to be this year. I mean, that would be a bold
lot to prove.
He gets injured a lot. It's already problematic that he's injury prone, but it's the non-injury absences that are what concern you. But okay, well, let's assume that he's going to play 60 games.
Mm-hmm.
That's not unreasonable to
be healthy for the playoffs. We'll say 60 and be healthy for the playoffs. Same with KD. Royce O'Neal was the original prompt for the fingers firing and what's going on in Utah, that trade. But that's a win now trade. Royce is a solid defensive player. Part of the problem in Utah is he was by far their best perimeter defender and was overmatched a lot of times, either size-wise or quickness-wise. But he's a solid defender who offensively is only going to shoot open threes and move the ball. So I think that's a really nice fit with two ball dominant guys. Joe Harris is a wild card coming back from the ankle surgery, but again, they've got a lot of shooting around KD and Kyrie. If Joe Harris is healthy, O'Neal's a good 3-point shooter.
Yeah, I don't want to just move past that. Okay, Joe Harris. Now, granted, he had 2 surgeries, and this is one of the things as you talk about the Nets basketball. They got 3 of their top 6 players, 7, depending on how you want to rank them, who are coming off surgery. You got Ben Simmons, you got Seth Curry, and you got Joe Harris. Joe Harris coming off 2 surgeries. But having said that,
just roll out the lineup of Seth Curry and Joe Harris with Ben Simmons, Kyrie, and KD, assuming they all play. Big assumption, I know. That is a potentially unstoppable offensive lineup.
Joe Harris, career 3-point shooting, 44%. Seth Curry, career 3-point shooting, 44%. Guess what he shot on 3-pointers after he got traded to Brooklyn last year? 47%. That was a small sample size, but just 47%.
Put the ball in Ben Simmons' hands and surround him with those 4 guys. Good luck guarding that team.
Well, hold on.
I'm not saying they're going to stop anybody.
You say put the ball in Ben Simmons' hands. Okay, let's, for the sake of discussion, skip right over where's his head.
Sure.
A super athletic player undergoing back surgery, you can't just assume he's going to be the same explosive sort of athlete. What happened to Dwight Howard after he had back surgery? Guys whose game is based primarily on just elite explosive athleticism, back surgery is a massive red flag.
Fair.
On top of a pile of red flags.
No, I agree. That's why I said at the beginning, it's a big assumption. But let's think about for a second if those 5 guys are on the court together. That's the best offensive lineup in the NBA by a significant amount.
You know how Brett Brown used to dream, and he like challenged Ben Simmons to like, can you make or shoot 1 3 a game? He just wanted him to shoot 1 3.
Mm-hmm.
The Nets could say to Ben Simmons, Ben, we don't care if you ever take a shot outside the paint.
Right. We're going to have you with the ball and surround you with 4 of the best shooters in the NBA, probably 4 of the 10 best shooters on the planet. And you can just attack the basket. You're one of the best creators of 3-point shooters in the league, or 3-point shots in the league. Dribble in, kick out, open threes.
Or go down to the post.
So, I was going to say,
and work out of the post. He's 6'10".
Or you know what? Set a screen and roll to the basket.
Well, listen, you can do that too.
If you think they're just going to hand Ben Simmons the ball and KD and Kyrie, oh, cool. Hey, Ben, we're open. If you see us, Pat, no, those guys need the ball in their damn hands too.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
I mean, I'm not saying he would have the ball in his hands exclusively and they would never touch the ball. The point is, if you have Ben Simmons on the court with those guys, you're obviously best off with him initiating the offense. And then Kyrie's playing off the ball.
You tell Kyrie that. You tell KD that.
Well,
but here's something else.
That was what James Harden was doing with the Nets.
Oh, and that worked out wonderfly. He was just happy as could.
Okay,
well,
but I'm not worried. I'm not worried about their offense. I'm worried. What did we pound away on them throughout the last season? And while everybody knees were knocking, afraid to play them in the playoffs, we kept saying over and over, they can't stop anybody.
Well, of course. I mean, that remains.
Man, you're right. I don't know. Maybe Ben Simmons is not going to be able to move like he did before. That's fair. This guy can defend 1 through 5.
If healthy, Ben Simmons is absolutely an elite defensive player of the year candidate, kind of defender.
And Royce O'Neal is a plus.
He's a plus defender. Player.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be better than he was last year, but he should be. That was the only kind of spot he was going to land in.
What's I'm saying. So I started, after you and I disagreed about that, I started asking some executives I was just having routine talks with, and I even talked to one team who had talks with the Lakers about him, and he just said, he just doesn't have much value, and so
he's overpaid on that contract. He's not a $10 million, $11 million player.
Well, this is one of the things I was thinking about. He's got
been nice if the Lakers had paid Alex Caruso that contract instead of.
All right, we're not going to go.
Tucker.
Yeah, we know they could have traded him for Kyle Lowry. That's in retrospect, it can get even worse than that.
But no, for the Lakers, I really think this deal was all about the potential of a Pat Bev, Russell Westbrook backcourt. I think those guys are really going to mesh well. I think that the chemistry is going to be great. It's instant chemistry. I think it's going to be kumbaya. And the happy times are here again in Lakerland.
I'd forgotten till after the trade the Beverly holding his nose last year while playing.
Dude,
the Lakers.
That is so. This goes all the way back to Rockets Thunder.
Yeah, I was going to say back to when he banked Russ's knee.
Russ
I know how long it goes back. I had just forgotten about the hold the nose thing right to his face last year.
So I've you guys will remember the old. Pat Bev be tricking y'all. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
So I was the one who asked that question, and obviously I tweeted it. That tweet blew up the other night, which is however many years old. And it was funny. I asked because Pat Bev, I thought he did a good job when he was guarding Harden in that game, but I asked the question because I was being a total, agitator, and I knew Russ.
You were being you. You were being Patrick Beverly.
I had the sharp stick and I poked Russ and he delivered on that one. But no, I mean, obviously
that was when he said that he's just running around out there, right? Isn't that what he said?
Yeah. He's tricking us. He's just running around out there doing nothing. He doesn't play defense, all that kind of stuff. Which is actually,
I was going to say that's more true than it isn't a lot of the time too. It
also describes Russell Westbrook's defensive approach, and it always has been. So he's not
always running around. But
no, I would say that I think it's certainly reasonable to believe that this further increases the odds that Russell Westbrook won't be on the Lakers roster. Like, you can't have those guys on a team together. And by the way, you couldn't have Russ on that team anyway. So I said increases. I don't know if it's dramatic because I think it was certainly headed that way, but I like the addition of Pat Bev for the Lakers. I mean, he's a total maniac, but that team could use a total maniac. And, he does set a tone. And listen, Pat Bev is certainly excellent at patting himself on the back very loudly and demonstratively. But he's right. When he goes to teams, they get better. When he goes to teams, they make the playoffs. When he goes to teams in Minnesota, which couldn't sniff the playoffs, they have a play-in championship parade. Play-in championship parade. I'm a scores table. Come on, baby. And the Lakers,
that was wild.
The Lakers are due for a play-in championship parade. That's how they weren't able to get in there